Alright, so I could be wrong about this, but I feel like the love story in a romantic comedy is supposed to be believable, right? I don't know what they were thinking with this one. It's time to talk about A Family Affair. What's up, guys? I'm Sully, and today we're talking about the brand new Netflix romantic comedy with Zac Efron and Nicole Kidman, A Family Affair. All you need to know about this one is that the story goes like this. A surprising romance results in major consequences for a young woman, her mother, and her movie star boss. So I'm not gonna call myself a modern day Romeo or anything like that, but I have been known to enjoy a good romantic comedy from time to time. I do think the vast majority of them are pretty terrible and they all follow that same cookie cutter formula. But when you do find one that has a believable story, good performances, and a legitimate emotional payoff at the end, they can really hit the spot. I'm talking about movies like Crazy Stupid Love, Silver Linings Playbook, Sleepless in Seattle. Those are the types of ones that really scratch that itch for me within the genre. So when I heard that Netflix was putting one out about a girl's mother falling in love with a movie star that sounded eerily similar to the Anne Hathaway film that released just a few months prior, I knew we were not in store for the type of game-changing and inventive romantic comedy I was hoping for. Filled with cringeworthy dialogue, cheap-looking set design, and wooden performances, A Family Affair is not exactly the fresh and scandalous triumph that it sets out to be. I think when you really boil it down, the two main problems with this movie is that I didn't find the characters very likable, and I didn't believe the central love story the entire film is centered around. In my opinion, you can have the most dog shit script on planet Earth, and even that can still be overlooked if you're somehow able to nail those two aspects. I mean, you have Nicole Kidman and Zac Efron at your disposal here. You should be able to give us at least something semi-decent in both of those departments with that kind of star power. What can't be ignored, though, is how absolutely hilarious it is that one of the main plot points of this movie is about the characters trying to find a better screenwriter to improve the script of their upcoming blockbuster, when the actual script of the legitimate movie is this god-awful. And it kind of serves as a great reminder of how having a serviceable screenplay is such an important piece of the puzzle when it comes to movie making in the first place, because I've seen all of the actors involved here in very good movies. Nicole Kidman, Zac Efron, and Joey King are not the problem here, but you just can't outwork a bad script. And they all do their jobs relatively well. I'm not the biggest Joey King fan, if I'm being completely honest, and Nicole Kidman and Zac Efron are kind of just going through the motions, but I mean, Daniel Day-Lewis himself couldn't even elevate this material. Okay, maybe he could, but you get what I'm saying. At the end of the day, I think this whole thing could have worked better as a mini-series where these characters actually have time to be fleshed out, because the two people we see fall in love over the course of this story, it seems like they're in totally different places in their life and have absolutely nothing in common. And sure, that happens in a lot of romantic comedies where there's an unlikely couple that finds each other and somehow makes it work despite their differences, but these two characters don't even seem like they would ever even want to be friends with each other, let alone lovers. If you want me on board, you have to make it just a little bit believable. Not a single middle-aged mother is gonna shed a tear to this one, and what a shame that is. Now, I will admit that it gets better down the stretch after all of the characters are introduced and the love story starts to unfold. There are some laughs from time to time, and I liked whenever Kathy Bates and Liza Koshy showed up. They were the real MVPs of the movie as far as I'm concerned. But I think more than anything, it becomes increasingly entertaining and forgivable as it marches towards its conclusion, because they kind of just fall into hitting all of the typical romantic comedy beats that you're already expecting. They just throw it into autopilot from there. Like, there's absolutely nothing new here that tries to push the genre forward or do anything that you haven't seen done about 1,000 times already. If you're familiar with the basic rom-com structure at all, you already know how this one's gonna go before you even sit your ass down to watch it. For some people, that safe and regurgitated formula is actually what draws them to the genre in the first place, because they know what to expect and there will always be a happy ending. Call me old-fashioned, but I actually like it when people go out of their way to try something new and take a risk from time to time. The unique rom-com might officially be dead, my friends. Where are the Tom Hanks and Jennifer Anistons of the world when you need them the most? Overall, guys, A Family Affair is just another lazy and formulaic attempt at a romantic comedy that does nothing more than just hit all of the usual predictable beats. Nicole Kidman and Zac Efron use their natural charisma to navigate through the very subpar material, and there are definitely some jokes that land from time to time, but ultimately it's pretty much one big tonal mess you'll forget even existed the second the credits start rolling. Send this one back to the Hallmark Channel, ladies and gentlemen. A Family Affair gets a Sully score of 2 stars. So that's my review of Netflix's new romantic comedy. What do you think is the best rom-com in the last decade? I'd probably have to say Palm Springs with Andy Samberg, but let me know in the comments below what you think. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys at the next one.